Okay, one day I was watching football with some of my family members, and they kept commenting on how I know so much about football and the statistics. So today I'm going to tell you all about how football began and the history of it. Along the way I learned a lot from this speech. I already knew a lot, so let's see how much you guys know, and hopefully we can all learn something. Welcome to my informative speech on the history of professional football. Let me tell you all how it began, when, and where it started. I'm going to start off by letting you know that professional football has been around since the early 1800s. It was made up of a mixture of soccer and rugby. It was in 1874 that the first game resembling present-day football was played. It was played between Harvard and McGill College. Harvard wanted to play it like soccer, and McGill College wanted to play it like rugby. So they played two games, and after the games were over, Harvard agreed that it was better to play it like rugby. The first known professional game was played on August 31st, 1895. It was played between a team from Pennsylvania and a team from Jeannette. Jeannette lost 12-0. However, professional football did not become popular until the 1950s. No one can really take credit for discovering football. It was invented. Professional football as we know it began in 1920 with the 14-league American Professional Football Association, the APFA. The APFA became the NFL in 1922 and had no serious competition until about 1960. It was formed on September 17, 1920 in Canton, Ohio. The idea came from a number of businessmen and players from semi-pro teams. Two determined supporters were A.E. Staley of the Staley Church Company and Ralph Hay, owner of the Huntmobile Auto Company. When the APFA was founded, their membership fee was $110 per team. In 1922, the APFA changed its name to the National Football League. In 1960, the real competition was the fourth AFL. After 10 years of bitter rivalry, the leagues were forced to make a deal and merge together to avoid financial ruin. They decided for the 1967 season they'd share a draft and a championship bowl, and by 1970 they would merge into a single Super Football League of 26 teams, the NFL. The NFL was still on top, but this AFL seriously influenced the NFL. Unlike its previous predecessors, high-powered passing strategies and end-zone dances were its main attraction. So the AFL was the flashier of the two. The first 10 years of the NFL's existence, it continually became a more and more popular show amongst the fans. For the first 10 years, the fan ratings grew at least 7 or so a year. It never declined. In 1920 it started at 133, and by 1930 there was 280 fans that were watching the games played. And by 1970 there were, the first, as the years have gone by, football has become a faster sport and highly difficult. The teams have continued to expand, and as I said before, the NFL started out with 14 teams. Then it turned into 26 teams after the merger, but now today we have 32 teams in the NFL. The championships game name was changed to the Super Bowl, and the first Super Bowl was played in 1967. There were 62,000 fans that attended it. Over the first 10 years, fan base grew every year. It started off and continued to grow. Over the years, they have imported more and more rules into the NFL, changing the way the game is played and trying to reduce the amounts of injuries and to lengthen the careers of the players. Over the years, football has become the #1 sport in America today. There are rivalries in the NFL and amongst the fans, which provides for even more entertainment. Over the last 10 years, from 2001 to the current year, 2011, the fans have grown even more. They did, however, go down some, but in 2001, there was 72 million fans, and they continued to grow and go down a little bit at a time. In 2003, there was only 68 million, and you can see it bounced up and down, back and forth through the last 10 years until last year in 2011 there was 111 million fans that watched the Super Bowl. In conclusion to all this, the NFL grew from a mixture of two different sports into the #1 sport in America, and does not seem to be on a path to do anything but continue to grow. I have now told you about how, when, and where it began, and going back to my story at the beginning about with my family saying how much I knew about football and the statistics of it, I was able to learn a lot more from the research of it, and hopefully you all were able to learn a lot more, and we can continue to love the sport we all watch. This has been my informative speech on the history of the National Football League. A quote from a famous coach, Vince Lombardi, would be, "People who work together will win, whether it be against complex football defenses or the problems of modern society." Thank you.